So I have an unfortunately depressing article. We're going to go over this and then I'm going to talk about it in depth about why this is so depressing and a serious problem. So Nintendo's stock has plummeted after poor Super Mario Run reviews. Now note, it said reviews, not sales. So a lot of people who own stocks must have been trolling the reviews and had seen that a lot of people didn't enjoy Super Mario Run as much as Pokemon Go. But they're idiots if they really thought that Super Mario Run was going to do as well as Pokemon Go, being a game that actually costs money versus a free game. I mean, come on, let's be real here. Everyone and their mom could download a free game, but only those who have the $10 to spend would buy Super Mario Run. But that's subjectively speaking as well, because the game's quality might not be worth $10 to you. So apparently, it plummeted roughly $50 American. And I'll go ahead and show you the article here. You can read through the sections, but that's the long and the short of it. Now, here's the problem. Here's the biggest issue I have with this. When you have things like this happening where their stock plummets due to the simple fact that a game wasn't received as well as they originally had thought, you might say, oh, okay, it was a bad game. They'll just move on and make a better game. But here's the problem and here's the issue. So this is an app marketplace game. This is a cell phone game. This isn't a 3DS game. If Nintendo made this game to the point where there's very few microtransactions, I won't say there's none at all, but there's very few, and you just have to pay $10 to get the game, Nintendo is basically saying that their games are better than every other game on the marketplace. You should buy their game instead of playing these free knockoff pieces of garbage. Now, quite a few people are probably in agreement when they say to me, hey, Proto, both the Apple and Google marketplace are full of shit. And I would shake my head and say, yeah, you're absolutely right. Because aside from 10 games, you yourself, and let's be honest with each other here, can you name more than 10 games on the Apple App Store and Google Marketplace? And they can't just be Angry Bird variants. Angry Bird counts as one. Can you name 10 separate games that are good, that you would be willing to spend money on to play? And thus lies the problem. If you can't even name enough games to spend money on, then you probably won't even spend money on the few good games that there are, at least an upfront cost. So Super Mario Run isn't the best game, but if it even was the absolute best game in the world, I'm quite sure there would still be people apprehensive for spending $10. That's less than the price of many people's lunches on an application to play in their spare time. And this is the biggest problem to me personally. Not because the game didn't succeed, not because I'm some type of Nintendo fanboy and I just want them to succeed. No, it is just due to the simple fact that when Nintendo sees this, they're going to understand that people don't want to pay money for their games up front. By contrast, looking at Pokemon Sun and Moon, we have a game that might have had the best launch for the franchise ever. Does you know that in contrast with a Super Mario Run game, a game that was one fourth of that price, and Pokemon Sun and Moon required a dedicated gaming console where a good chunk of the world has an Apple device, whether it be phone, iPad, or iPod Touch, I guess. So to say these differences, you can tell that people are just very apprehensive about paying for video games on the marketplace, on a phone, for whatever reason. And this will signal to Nintendo that people don't want paid for apps, people want free to play apps. Because Pokemon Go did so well, but a paid-for app like Super Mario Run did not. And that's a shame, because at the end of the day, I really want Nintendo to unify the marketplace. I don't want a monopoly, but I would love to see them come through and completely annihilate the shit clone games. Do you guys remember when Flappy Bird was a big thing? And then there's thousands of clones now. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not saying there won't be clone games, but if you starve those clone games for money, for views, for, downloads, then no one's going to see them to be able to download them, and they will fade into obscurity. And an indie developer isn't going to waste his time if he's not going to see any type of return on a shitty mobile game. And thus, that will raise the quality of the competition in the indie marketplace on the App Store, and then make better quality cell phone games, and make cell phone games a more mainstreamed, viable gaming marketplace place. But this is not what has happened, and it's very depressing. It's very sad to see that, unfortunately, people just don't want to pay $10 for the game. Again, subjectively speaking and understanding, I recognize that you may not think the game is worth $10, and that's okay. However, keep in mind, again, this is because of bad reviews, not solely based upon the price tag. But perhaps the price tag itself is what made the reviews bad. So in any case, ladies and gentlemen, I've been your host, Protomario, and I'm signing out. I hope you guys are either enjoying Super Mario Run or a similar game that you've recently picked up. And as always, good gaming, and God bless. Thanks for watching.